Ahoy there, Captain Steve coming to you again. I wanted to talk to you about a few things. Oh, first of all, good news. Our boat is now at Sneed Boat Yard down in Florida, in Palmetto, Florida, getting the last few things that need to be done on it. So once I get a call that it's done, I'll fly down and pick it up. But I wanted to put a shout out to Captain Willis down in Sarasota, Bradenton area. So all you viewers that are in that area that need boat work done, it would be Willis Turner Marine. His hourly rate is very reasonable. He's very knowledgeable, and he is great to work with and to deal with. As far as what I wanted to cover today was choosing a boat. I'm not going to tell you what the must-haves are because everybody knows what their must-haves are. I'm going to go over what our must-haves were. When we were looking for a boat, we were looking based on our family size and the fact that we did want to entertain and have friends onto the boat from time to time. So we wanted to make sure that one, it had at least 3 staterooms. We wanted to make sure, secondly, that the captain's quarters was decent sized and room to move around. We didn't want it where the bed was in there and that's it. No room on either side to walk. You had to climb on the foot of the bed and then scurry up. We wanted to make sure there was room around both sides to walk, plenty of cabinets, at least one decent closet, but we have two. We also wanted to make sure the captain's quarters had its own head, which we made sure of that. And we weren't concerned if the other 2 quarters had their own heads or not, but we were hoping to catch one that they both had their own heads. The one we have, the one stateroom, there's a day head right across the hall which they can use, and the other quarter, the third quarter or stateroom has a full head right in their room, which it's going to be our 2 sons using the other 2 staterooms. So they'll just go down the steps, and as soon as you enter the third stateroom, right there's the head with the shower and everything that they'll use. So that way they're not trying to come in and use ours because we are the owners of the boat. We paid for it, and in my opinion, we deserve and should have our own dedicated head with no kids or no one else being in there or using it. So that was the first 2 of our must-haves, was the 3 staterooms and the heads. We wanted a fly bridge with a nice entertaining area up there, which we got. There is no isinglass, which that didn't concern us because we knew we could get the plastics or the isinglass made and installed. In the wheelhouse, we wanted to make sure there was a decent salon. And down in the galley, we didn't care if it was a step down galley. It's only 2 steps and then you're into the galley. We did want to make sure it had a washer and dryer in there and a dishwasher, which we got. You have your dining room table, and you have, which I'll show you all once I go pick up the boat. I'll give you a tour of the boat. But then there's a dining room table with an L-shaped bench surrounding it, and right off of that, it's basically the same room, is another salon, which we're kicking around, turning it into a dining room, or just using the table that's there with the bench as the kitchen table, and using that salon as another entertaining area with sofa and couches and chairs, and maybe put a TV down there. We haven't decided if we're putting a TV up in the wheelhouse where the other salon's at, or down in that the salon that's off the kitchen slash dining table area. I wanted diesel engines, so that was one of the must-haves for me, was to have twin diesel motors on it, which we got Caterpillar 3208 diesels, which I've researched it, and if they're kept upright and you maintain them, they'll last 15 or 12 to 15,000 hours. Had to have a generator. I wasn't going to buy a boat without a generator. And we have one of the top models. I can't remember the name of it, but it's a 12K generator. So I would have liked to have a stand-up walk-in engine room, which this boat we found that we fell in love with does not have a stand-up walk-in engine room. I have to pull the panels off the floor of the lower salon and then step down into it, and there I'm in the engine room with the generator and the engines. I would have loved to have a water maker system where we could go out and a desalinator and just pump water in from the ocean and desalinate it and filter it, and then it pumps it into our water tank because we have a 300-gallon fresh water tank. It does not. It's not a deal breaker, or wasn't a deal breaker, because, and again, I can have that, and I can buy that and have that installed. So I wasn't concerned with that. Our main must-haves, though, like I said, was the three quarters, each having their own head, not necessarily a shower, but a head of some kind. The fly bridge with the room to entertain, and just basically enough room to entertain if we want to entertain. The front of the boat has the 3 big wide tanning pads, and then a big open area in front of that where you can sit along with a padded bench that's at the end of the tanning bed for, to have company and entertain. I definitely wanted it. Well, the size boats we got, they all have motorized anchors, but I definitely wanted like I said, the 3 quarters, the 3 heads, at least 1 salon, preferably 2, which we got. And I did just put a little money into the electronics. It had a radar that didn't work. The depth finder didn't work, so we sank some money into the boat, into the electronics. We put had a new Garmin radar put in. The 2 black domes that were up on the radar arch we had removed because it was blocking the radar left and right. It was picking up front or port and star, or on the fore and aft it was picking up, but it wasn't picking up port and starboard because the domes are blocking it. So the domes are being removed, and we're keeping them because, they sell dummy domes. So who knows, maybe I'll sell it and recoup some of the cost of the electronics. But so we got the Garmin radar put in along with the chart. It has a chart plotter. So we got the radar, the chart plotter, and as far as the depth finder not working, they were able to, since we got the model Garmin we got, they put the depth finder into the same screen, the same touch screen as the chart plotter and the radar. So Sneed, while it's at the boatyard, they're going to install a transducer while they have it out of the water. So then that way, if I can split screen between radar and chart plotter, and then in the upper corner it'll tell me the depth, or I can do radar and depth finder. So then it'll show me the bottom surface at the bottom of the ocean, bottom of the water that we're in, and what we're looking at, or chart plotter and radar, or chart plotter and fish finder. However, but eventually I'm going to put in a cheaper screen on the other side of the flybridge console, and then have the depth finder, fish finder split off to that screen, because then when I do that, I'm also going to have the weather installed onto that same screen, so then I can split that screen into weather and fish finder, and then the other screen will just be dedicated to radar and chart plotter. to do what we have done, which is the radar, the chart plotter, and now the fish finder. For the Garmin model we got, it was a little over $6,000 for the equipment and for the installation. So, but it's worth it in the end to invest in decent electronics, decent equipment. It's, especially when you have your family on board, because it's all about their safety. And my wife didn't want the domes removed. She liked the look of the domes. I don't know why. I think it looks a lot cleaner with the domes gone, because the domes are old school. I mean, they used to be a sign of prestige, I guess, when you saw these big boats and you got these huge ass domes up on top. But I'm having the domes removed, so that way the radar can pick up port and starboard. So, like I told my wife, I want to see the whole way around the boat. If we're out at night and we're going, and I can only see front and back, or fore and aft, and I can't see port and starboard, I don't know if somebody's coming from the left or the right, and to be able to avoid them if I don't have the radar working to show me those directions. So they're going to remove the dome, and they're going to, fill and patch and plug whatever holes from the bolts these domes made, so that way there's nothing, no water gets into the radar arch. But I mean, the day of the domes have long came and gone, I suppose, because now they're making everything smaller and smaller. And like I said, the one dome up there was a dummy dome, just for aesthetics and uniformity, and to make everything look, all the cohesiveness. The other dome was, as it was explained to me by the electronics company and everything that installed it, was a dinosaur museum piece for satellite TV or whatever. That probably doesn't even work anymore, because it's old and outdated and obsolete. So it had a Furuno radar on it, which that got replaced with the Garmin. But I mean, the boat, as far as the boat and the must-haves, don't listen to all these videos out there telling you what the top 5 or top 10 or top 30 must-haves of a boat are. Sit down with your spouse or by yourself, if you're buying a boat by yourself, and you know what you want, or you know what you need on the boat, or what you want to have on the boat for the money that you're paying for the boat, and stick to it. I mean, yeah, you're not going to get everything you want or everything on your must have, but I mean, keep looking until you find a good majority of your must haves. But you know what you want. You know if you want 2 staterooms or 3 staterooms or 1 stateroom. You know if you want an up galley or a down, or a galley you step down to. You know if you want 1 or 2 salons or a fly bridge, or if it's got to have isinglass, then you know it's got to have isinglass in order for you to buy it. Or in our case, it didn't have isinglass, and we want isinglass, but it wasn't a deal breaker. It wasn't now we're going to walk away from the boat, because we can have it put in. We can have it installed. It's not, I mean, we're not going to install it. I'll pay somebody to make what we want and install it. I mean, boat, break out another 1,000, and the larger the boat, that 1,000 becomes a larger amount than 1,000. So, but boating's still nice, and boats don't always break down. That break out another 1,000 only applies not very frequently. It's as long as you keep up the maintenance of your boat, the motor, the most important part, will last, and it will hold up. But it's just like a car. The alternators go out, starters go out, And a lot of that you can do on your own, which I've been researching and Googling and YouTubing different things as far as our boat and the boat motor to see, figure out and be able to do a lot of the things on my own to save money. I mean, I already figured out how to change the oil and how to change the coolant so that way I don't have to pay God knows how much. I've seen on YouTube some people saying it was like $1,000 to have the oil changed on the boat, our size. And but I can just go buy the oil, and now I know how to change the oil and the coolant, and I could take care of that. I'm gonna find out where all the sacrificial anodes are, so when I change the coolant, I can go change all the sacrificial anodes, so that way they're fresh. Because once I get the boat up here and I travel from Florida to Maryland, I'm going to want to probably off the boat for a little bit. But the next time we come down onto to the boat to start cleaning and we want to do some painting in the one salon, we want to brighten it up. But when we come down, I'm going to have everything I need as far as material, and I'm going to change the oil. And if I have the time, I'm going to change the coolant and the sacrificial anodes. And if I don't have the time to do both, I'll do the one. And the next time we come down, I'll do the other one. Then it'll have all fresh fluids, and figure while I'm changing the oil on the engine, I might as well change the oil on the generator. Make sure everything has fresh fluids and it's, kept upright and taken care of. And then I've already ordered ASA C clamps, or not C clamps, ASA hose clamps, a variety of sizes. So, because whenever you get a boat surveyed, they always say hose clamps. They always mention hose clamps, hose clamps, hose clamps, hose clamps. None of my hose clamps are broken. Some are old and they got that rust color. They're maybe a little rusty because the boat is in water. But there's nothing that's in dire need to be changed. But I got a variety of sizes. So when we're on the boat and we're just sitting at the dock, or if we take it out and we putt around and we throw the anchor and we're sitting out there on the hook for a little while, and I get tired of sitting in the sun, I can pop an engine hatch or two and climb down in there and just start replacing hose clamps with new ones. I'll start with the rusty looking ones and then move on from there. And even if they're not rusty, I'll probably, eventually I'll change them. That way they're all brand new hose clamps down underneath, and I'll know everything's good. And then every time we go to get on the boat, before I start it, I'll drop down in there, drop in the engine, pull the dipsticks out, check the oil on the engines, check the coolant level, make sure that's full. I'll check the generator oil level, make sure that's good, and do a quick inspection to make sure there's nothing leaking, no oil or anything laying around, so I know there's nothing leaking, so I won't mess up the engine. And that's about all there is to it. That's how you, what's the word I'm looking for? Minimize the whole break out another 1,000 of a boat, is by taking care of your gear, taking care of your equipment, maintaining your stuff. But I mean, I've been watching videos. We were watching videos before we bought the boat, and you have people out there saying, "Oh, top 20 must-haves, top 30 must-haves, top 5 must-haves." That's their must-haves. Only you know what your must-haves are, and you need to figure out which must-haves are you're willing to sacrifice, and which must-haves are dead set and a deal breaker where you'll walk away from the boat if you don't have it. Especially if you want it to be a liveaboard. You want it to be comfortable. You want it to be what you want. If you're paying $65,000, $100,000, $150,000 for a boat, you want what you're expecting. You want what you want. You don't want to It's like a car. If I'm paying $50,000, $60,000 for a car, I'm not expecting to be driving off the lot with a Hyundai. I'm expecting to be driving off the lot with a Lexus or a Cadillac, or, in my case, it's probably about $90,000. But with an F350, I'm not paying $90,000 going in looking for an F350 and driving out with the Kia. So, I mean, you want to make sure you're getting what you're paying for. You want to make sure you're getting what you want with the money, with what you're paying out for that boat. So don't shortchange yourself. Get what you want. Make sure it has at least the majority of what you want. Make sure it has all of the gotta have it's. And, like I said, figure out which ones are you're willing to sacrifice and not have, and just have put in later. So, like I said, the boat's at Sneed Island, or Sneed Island Boat Works. If you're in Florida, in the Sarasota, Bradenton area, check out Captain Willis Turner, Marine. He's awesome. He's excellent. And again, if you're shopping for a boat, American House of Yachts, Julie, between the two of them, they make it a breeze, and it's simple, easy. You get everything done, and Captain Willis will do a lot of the work that can be done, or that he's able to do, and his hourly rate is a lot less than what Sneed Boat Works hourly rate is. But yeah, check him out and just keep your head up. I know boats are hard to come across because we're interested in a couple, and by the time we messaged them, letting them know we were interested, they already had a contract on it. So keep your head up, keep your chin up, keep looking, and don't get discouraged. You will find the boat you want, and the boat that fits your budget and fits your lifestyle and your needs. Just keep on shopping. And for those of you that have boats, keep on motoring. Sails up. Have a good day. See ya.